Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare
Kati Sadma Bondo Mui Savadana Mate Jahara Prasade Bhai Ebhavadoriya Jai Krishna Prapti Ho Ja Hoite Guru Mukha Padma Vagya Chitete Goriya Kya Harana Guri Omane Asha Shri Guru Charane Radhe Ese Uddhamagati Prasade Pure Sarva Asha Chakudana Dilo Jai Janme Janme Prabhu Se Divya Jnanidai Prakasitu Prema Bhakti Ja Hoite Advidya Vinasa Jaite Variga Jahara Garedo Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adamajanara Bandhu Lokana Lokara Jivana Srila Prabhupada Lokara Jivana Ha Prabhu Kora Doya Deo More Pada Chaya Ebejas Gisikri Bhuvana Srila Prabhupada Patita Pavana Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Bracharine Nirvisesa Shunavari Paskata Desatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Jagannath, Swami Jagannath, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Nidai Gaura Sundar, Nidai Gaura Sundar, Gaura Sundar. Jaya Panchatattva, Jaya Panchatattva, Panchatattva, Jaya Panchatattva. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
Namaste Narsinghaya. Prahlad Dayine. Hiranyakashipu Vaksha, Hiranyakashipu Vaksha, Sila Tankanatalahe, Sila Tankanatalahe, Ito Nasimha, Parato Nasimha. Yato Yamitaito Nasimha, Yato Yamitaito Nasimha, Vaihe Nasimha, Vidahe Nasimha, Vaihe Nasimha, Vidahe Nasimha, Narasimha Madhim Sadanan Prapade, Narasimha Amadin Sadanan Prapade, Tavakada Kamalabade, Nakanat Bhuta Singha, Dalita Hiranyakasipu Tanavringa, Keshabdita Narahari Rupa, Jaya Jagadisha Hare, Jaya Jagadisha Hare, Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Avadhanatare Nakhana Bhuta Singha Dalita Hiranyakashipu Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Nrsingadhe 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 Jaya Nrsingadhe Jaya Nrsingadhe 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 Jaya Nrsingadhe Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj. Shri Bhakti Vignas Vinashak Nishingire Bhagavani Ki Shri Bhakti Shestra Prahlad Maharaj Ki Srila Prabhupada Ki Hridaya Gopramanande Hari Hari Bo. Well, Krishna Prabhu, any chance you can get that Advaita Astikam on your computer? You can't get it? It's not working? This is not working. Chai. Okay. Oh, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. But it's not working. Not working. Hare Krishna. So since we don't have a screen, we may have to make do with something else. I don't need that thing actually, because I make so many mistakes. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadvadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishaka Vitamscha. He Krishna Karana Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuba Evacha Patitanam Bhavinibhyo Vaishnavabhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Hare Krishna. So today being the appearance day of Advaita Archarya Prabhu, thank you very much, Prabhu. So there's a nice bhajan. If we get the sound system together, you can, or if those of you that have internet connection can join. Otherwise, it won't be difficult. So there's a nice bhajan about Advaita Archarya Prabhu that was sung by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. It is mentioned that Sarvabhauma, the thing was called, Advaita Astikam, but it was sung by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, who was meditating on Advaita Archarya like that. So I'll read the English translation and see if we can get to the end of this class, and then maybe sing the bhajan if we can. Roaring like a lion and thundering like a monsoon cloud, he prays day and night. O Krishna, O Lord of Radhika. He smears the Saligram Shila with a paste of sandalwood and musk and offers arti with incense and lamp. I meditate upon the lotus feet of Sri Advaita Acharya, the Lord of Sita Devi. He worships the Saligram Shila with water of the Ganga mixed with tulsi manjaris and leaves. Tears of love incessantly flow from his eyes as he meditates upon Krishna and sings his glories. He prays to the Supreme Lord, who is an ocean of mercy, to descend to this world. I meditate upon the lotus feet of Sri Advaita Acharya, the Lord of Sita Devi. Again and again he loudly sings the name of Krishna, praying to him, O my Lord, deliverer of the universe, please manifest your exceedingly merciful two-arm form in my vision. Please award me the proper vision. I meditate upon the lotus feet of Sri Advaita Acharya, the Lord of Sita Devi. Due to the praise of Sri Advaita Acharya, Sri Chaitanya appeared in the house of Jagannath Mishra in the womb of Mother Sachi. In order to enjoy the association of Sri Advaita, Sri Chaitanya sang the holy name of the Lord congregationally and danced with the devotees. I meditate upon the lotus feet of Sri Advaita Acharya, the Lord of Sita Devi. The lotus feet of Sri Advaita are the goal of my knowledge and the object of my meditation. I always keep the dust of his lotus feet on my head. O my Lord, please bestow devotional service upon this unworthy soul and protect him. I meditate upon the lotus feet of Sri Advaita Acharya, the Lord of Sita Devi. Sri Advaita, the Lord of Sita Devi, is the bestower of all benedictions and perfections, and he is the Lord of my life. The most merciful Lord immediately bestows bhakti upon those who meditate exclusively upon his lotus feet. I meditate upon the lotus feet of Sri Advaita Acharya, the Lord of Sita Devi. All glories to Sri Advaita along with Sri Chaitanya and the most merciful Nityananda Prabhu. They are all one but in three different forms, depicting the different phases of life, like adolescence, etc. Sri Advaita roars and thunders in order to deliver the living entities by giving them transcendental knowledge and pure devotional service. I meditate upon the lotus feet of Sri Advaita Archarya, the Lord of Sita Devi. He bestows loving devotional service upon the lowly, mean, blasphemous, and other such fallen people. The bestower of everything, Sri Advaita, the Lord of Sita Devi, is the leader of Shantipur. He frees one from the bondage of material attachments, bad association, fruitive activities, and mystic yoga. I meditate upon the lotus feet of Sri Advaita Archarya, the Lord of Sita Devi. So I particularly like this verse the most, actually, of all of them. So we can repeat if you want. He bestows loving devotional service upon the lowly, mean, blasphemous, and other such fallen people. The bestower of everything, Sri Advaita, the Lord of Sita Devi, he is the leader of Shantipur. He frees one from the bondage of material attachments, bad association, fruitive activities, and mystic yoga. I meditate upon the lotus feet of Sri Advaita Archarya, the Lord of Sita Devi. So I think this thing applies to me more than everybody else. So that's why I really like it, where it says, he bestows devotional service upon the lowly, mean, blasphemous, and other such fallen people. So I think that fits me perfectly, actually, like it is. Any luck? Okay. All right, so I'll try. I don't know if you want to try and follow, but you can see if you can. Hunkara gajanadi ahoratra sangunam ha Krishna radhika nata patanadi bhavanam. Hard, eh? Hunkara gajanadi ahoratra sadgunam ha Krishna radhika nata patanadi bhavanam. Dupo dipo kasturi cha chandanadi lepanam sitanatadvaita chara naravrinda bhavanam. That line you all can sing. Sitanatadvaita chara naravrinda bhavanam sitanatadvaita chara naravrinda bhavanam. Gangavari monohari tulasari manjari Krishna jnana sadha dhyana premovari jhajari kripadhi vikhorunata bhavishyati pathanam sitanatadvaita chara naravrinda bhavanam sitanatadvaita chara naravrinda bhavanam sitanatadvaita chara naravrinda bhavanam. Muhu Muhu Krishna Krishna Uche Swari Gayatam Ahinat Jagatata Mama Drista Gocharam Dvija Bhuja Korunata Diyatam Sudhasanam Sitanatadvaita Charu Narabrinda Bhavanam. Everyone. Sitanatadvaita Charu Narabrinda Bhavanam. Sitanatadvaita Charu Narabrinda Bhavanam. Shri Advaita Parthanata Jagannatha Layayam Sachimoto Garbhojata Chaitanya Karunamayam Shri Advaita Sangaranga Kirtana Vilasanam Sitanatadvaita Charam Naravinda Bhavanam. Everyone. Sitanatadvaita Charam Narabrinda Bhavanam. Chara Narabrinda Bhavanam. Advaita Chararavinda Jnana Dhyana Bhavanam Sadadvaita Pada Padmo Renurasidharanam Dehi Bhaktim Jagannatha Rakshamam Bhajanam Sitanatadvaita Chara Naravinda Bhavanam Sitanatadvaita Chara Naravinda Bhavanam Sitana Narabrinda Bhavanam Savadhata Sitanata Praneshvar Sadagunam Ye Japanti Sitanata Pada Padmadaivalam Iyatham Kurunanata Bhakti Yogathakshanam Sitanatadvaita Charam Naravinda Bhavanam Sitanatadvaita Chara Narabrinda Bhavanam Sitanatadvaita Chara Narabrinda Bhavanam Shri Chaitanya Jaya Advaita Nityananda Karunamayam Eka Anga Tridamurti कैशोरादिसधवरं जीवठानभक्तिज्ञानं हुङ्काराधिगाजनम् सीतानाथाद्वैतचारं नरवृन्दभावनम् सीतानाथाद्वैतचारं नरवृन्दभावनम् सीतानाथाद्वैतचारं नरवृन्दभावनम् दीनहीननिन्दिखादि प्रेमभक्तिदायकम् सर्वदातसीतनाथं शान्तिपूर्णयायकम् रागसङ्गहङ्गदोषि कर्मयोगमोक्षणम् सीतानाथाद्वैतचारु नरवृन्दभावनम् सीतानाथाद्वैतचारु नरवृन्दभावनम् सीतानाथाद्वैतचारु नरवृन्दभावनम् Shri Advaita Archarya Prabhu ki. It's a really nice bhajan if you learn. Try and learn at least. I don't think I have it perfect, but thanks to my Guru Maharaj, I try and get to hear it as often as I can, so that helps. So reading from Chaitanya Charitamrita, this is Hari Leela chapter 6, verse number 4. Mahavishnu Jagadkarta Mayaya Yashriya Jatadaha Tasya Avatara Evavyam Advaita Archarya Ishvaraha. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Lord Advaita Archarya is an incarnation of Mahavishnu, whose main function is to create the cosmic world through the actions of Maya. The next verse says, Advaitam Harinat Hari Advaita Acharyam Bhakti Samsanan Bhakta Avataramisham Tvam Advaita Acharyam Ashraye. Because he is non-different from Hari, the Supreme Lord, he is called Advaita. And because he propagates the cult of devotion, he is called Acharya. He is the Lord and incarnation of the Lord's devotee. Therefore, I take shelter of him. Advaita Acharya Gosani Shakshat Ishvare Yanhara Mahimama Nahe Jivere Gochara. Sri Advaita Acharya is indeed directly the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. His glory is beyond the conception of ordinary living beings. Mahavishnu Srishti Karena Jagat Adhikareya Thandra Avatara Shakshat Advaita Acharya. Mahavishnu performs all the functions for the creation of the universe. Sri Advaita is his direct incarnation. Ye Purusha Srishti Siti Karena Mayaya Ananta Brahmanda Srishti Karena Lilaya. That Purusha creates and maintains with his internal, external energy. He creates innumerable universes in his pastimes. Ichayananta Murti Karena Prakasha Eka Murti Karena Brahmanda Pravasha. By his will, he manifests himself in unlimited form, in which he enters each and every universe. Shri Purushera Amsa Advaita Nahi Kichu Vedha Sarira Vishesha Tandra Nahika Vichira. Shri Advaita Acharya is the plenary part of that Purusha, and so is not different from him. Indeed, Advaita Acharya is not separate, but is another form of that Purusha. Sayakarena Tandra Lahiya Pradana Koti Brahmanda Karena Ichaya Nirmana. He, Advaita Acharya, helps in the pastimes of the Purusha with whose material energy and by whose will he creates innumerable universes. Jagat Mangala Advaita Mangala Gunu Dharma Mangala Charita Sadha Mangala Yana Nama. Being a reservoir of all auspicious attributes, Sri Advaita Acharya is all auspicious for the world. His characteristics, activities and name are always auspicious. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Sri Advaita Prabhu, who is an incarnation of Mahavishnu, is an Acharya or teacher. All his activities and all other activities of Vishnu are auspicious. Anyone who can view the all auspiciousness in the pastimes of Lord Vishnu also becomes auspicious simultaneously. Therefore, since Lord Vishnu is the fountainhead of auspiciousness, anyone who is attracted by the devotional service of Lord Vishnu can render the greatest service to human society. Rejected persons of the material world who refuse to understand pure devotional service as the eternal function of the living entities and as actual liberation of the living being from the conditioned life becomes bereft of all devotional service because of the poor fund of knowledge. In his teachings of Advaita Prabhu, there is no question of fruitive activities or impersonal liberation. Bewildered by the spell of material energy, however, persons who could not understand that Advaita Prabhu is none different from Vishnu wanted to follow him with their impersonal conceptions. The attempt of Advaita Prabhu to punish them is also specious. Lord Vishnu and his activities can bestow all good fortune, directly and indirectly. Being favored by Lord Vishnu and being punished by Lord Vishnu are one and the same, because all the activities of Vishnu are absolute. According to some, Mangala was another name of Advaita Prabhu. As a causal incarnation or Lord Vishnu's incarnation for a particular occasion, he is a supply agent or ingredient in material nature. However, he is never to be considered material. All his activities are spiritual. Anyone who hears about and glorifies him becomes glorified himself. For such activities free one from all kinds of misfortune. One should not invest any material contamination or impersonalism in the Vishnu form. Everyone should try and understand the real identity of Lord Vishnu, for by such knowledge one can attain the highest stage of perfection. So we've heard previously how Advaita Acharya is Mahavishnu, or is expansion of Mahavishnu, incarnation of Mahavishnu, like this verse says. And he's also at the same time the personality of Sadashiva, or an expansion of Sadashiva. So combined, he's really one of the most munificent, merciful personalities that exist, actually. In one class, Amendranath Prabhu was making the point that in Vrindavan, the original expansion, obviously, the original personality is Krishna, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And from Krishna comes Balaram, and from Balaram comes Sankarshan, and then from Sankarshan you get your Mahasankarshan, and then you get your Aniruddha, Pradyumna, and Vasudeva. And then from that second Sankarshan you get Mahavishnu, like that it is. That Mahavishnu is this Advaita Acharya that we're speaking about, actually, like that it is. So he's none different. That Mahavishnu, when he lies down in the causal ocean and he breathes out, hundreds of universes become manifest, like it is. But it is Advaita Acharya Prabhu who fills those universes, actually, who creates the universe, who actually gives life to the universe in sense of making sure all the activities that happen in the universe are in place, actually. Because Mahavishnu, I mean, one of the names for Mahavishnu, Garbhakshaya Vishnu, Karadangashaya Vishnu, is Karadakshaya. You know the last word they say like that, it is Karadakshaya. Shaya means lying down. It means to rest, like that it is. And one of the reasons that they are lying down is because they don't have anything to do with the material world, actually. So as a result, because they have no activity yet, they're just lying down and they, for lack of a better word, when we do that, we're chilling, right? Even sometimes when we're doing that during Mangalarti time, like that it is actually. So they don't interfere in the activities of the material world. But Advaita Acharya, he does actually. He's the reason that everything happens within the material world, like that it is. He's the reason that all the activities take place. And also one very important point that was what was being made here by Srila Prabhupada. He's responsible also for also the good and bad things in our life, actually. So sometimes we see things in a way that differ from the real nature of itself, actually. Because obviously we see things with our colored lenses, colored vision that we have. So whatever we see according to our perception. Our perception I mean, in my case, at least I know it's not perfect like that it is, so it may be completely discolored like that it is, But it's my perception. So when people feel from their perception, whether this is right or wrong, whether it's good or evil, whether I'm suffering or having good fortune, like that. All these things come from Advaita Acharya, actually. But if we take that same teachings, His Holiness Bhakti Chao Maharaj, my spiritual master, made this very nice point. He was saying that whenever something good happens to you, it is Krishna's mercy. And whenever something bad happens to you, it's your karma. It's your bad fortune. If you see it like that, then it becomes a little bit more digestible and acceptable. Because otherwise we are always, when something bad happens, it's always God's fault. Isn't it? Eternally it's God's fault, actually. Why is His fault? Because He knows everything. He's responsible for everything. So whatever He did, whatever happened to me is because He's wrong. But nowhere in that equation did we ever think that I may have committed some sinful activity at some point in time and I'm getting the reaction for this right now, actually. Without having to think that this is God's fault, I'm getting the reaction because I deserve it, actually. And it is my fault, But when you see like that, if you start to see like that, where you see that, yes, I'm wrong, this is for my purification, I'll become better, I'll get more humble, I'll become more tolerant or more kind, or whatever the challenge may or may not be like that it is, then you make advancement as a devotee, actually. And in that sense, Advaita Acharya becomes this personality that is constantly giving you mercy, giving you blessings, giving you shelter like that it is, actually. Because our Krishna consciousness is based on our activities, isn't it? But activities based on what, actually? So according to Nectar of Devotion, it's activities that we favorably do in Krishna consciousness, not that we do unfavorably. Many times we do service, but the service may be in a mood that may not be particularly suitable for the occasion, like that it is, actually. So because because of our material contamination, because of our material association, because of our material challenges, we see things according to what we want, actually. So Upendra Gauranga Prabhu is a nice devotee because he's my friend. But if Upendra Gauranga Prabhu does something wrong tomorrow, then he becomes my enemy, actually. But did he change? No, he didn't change. Somewhere in the relationship something went, pear-shaped, and that again is because of my karma, that he did something to me. Not that I deserve it because of something I did some other time, in some other lifetime, actually, which I may or may not even remember, But even if I do remember, then at least it's there. But that's the mood, actually. And Advaita Acharya, when he appeared, he was seeing that in Navadvip, there were these houses, for those of you that went to Mayapur, you would have seen the house of Shiva's Anga, and you would have seen Advaita Acharya's house. And Shantipur is not too far, it's a little bit away from Krishnanagar, but on the way to Mayapur. So if you ever going to Mayapur, I know many devotees don't do this, but you have the opportunity to stop at Shantipur and take darshan, actually. If the screen was working, I would show you some pictures, actually, but it's not working, so I can't show you. But so you could go take darshan of Advaita Acharya's house, actually, that he lived in Shantipur. So the point I was making, that although he was a devotee, and remember, Advaita Acharya was one of these personalities that because he is Mahavishnu and Sadashiva in one combined form, has a personality of mercy. He's over exuding mercy like that it is, actually. He's always giving mercy. Lord Vishnu or Mahavishnu in his form is giving the living entities an opportunity over and over and over and over again like that to rectify themselves so they can come back home, back to Godhead. Through any means of devotional service that can be practiced, actually. And what to speak of Sadashiva. There was one devotee giving this pastime about Shiva when he went to see Lord Krishna. Dinabandhu Prabhu says this best, like that it is. So Lord Krishna came there to Nandagram and he had the snake around his neck and his scorpions and spiders and, his body was smeared with ash from the graveyard and he appeared there and Mother Yashoda looked at him and said, please go. You'll frighten my child, like what's wrong with you? Please go. Like that. So as soon as he left, Krishna started to cry. And Krishna wouldn't stop crying, actually. So there's many variations of the story. The Lord Shiva came back again for darshan, and again Mother Yashoda chased him away. And then the minute he came, Lord Krishna kept quiet. But the minute Mother Yashoda sent him away, he started crying again. And so eventually when he was crying non-stop, according to Dinabandhu Prabhu's version of the story, Then Mother Yashoda went and inquired, like why, and then she got an astrologer involved, and then the local village people came and eventually figured out that Baba who came, that's why he put Najar, Dino Bandhu would say like that, which means evil eye, like that it is. So now I saw they sell bracelets, evil eye bracelets. You can buy one actually. I'm going to sell for the temple actually. So they said how to get rid of this thing is to call that Baba back and then give him darshan actually. So they did that, and then Krishna stopped crying. You all know the pastime. And then Lord Shiva said that he'll stay there on one condition, that every day after Abhishek of Krishna and whatever they cook for Krishna and feed him, they should offer it first to him. So Nandishwar Mahadev is still there. You will see him today, and up till today do the same thing. So whenever they do Abhishek for Krishna, they'll go bathe Lord Shiva who is residing there. But Krishna, Lord Shiva like that, he's staying everywhere. Wherever there's Krishna's pastime, wherever he's meant to be the guardian, he's staying there like that is actually. Guarding the holy place, guarding Krishna's pastime, but always ready to give mercy actually like that it is. Lord Shiva is the personality that is constantly giving mercy. He's not somebody that obstructs it. That's why he's called the topmost Vaishnava like that it is actually. So imagine the topmost Vaishnava and Mahavishnu, who's the, like the first creator of the material energy, who's breathing out all these universes, combined the mercy that they are bestowing upon us as Advaita Archarya. So Advaita Archarya was seeing that, he's chanting Hare Krishna and all the people around him are gone mad. They have more time to spend money on their daughter's wedding or their son's wedding or some ritualistic function, but no time to give to Krishna. No devotional service was being performed actually. Nothing, zero. And he was feeling in his heart, now how is this possible actually? So he together with Srivas Thakur, they would get together and they would chant the holy names of Krishna, and they would feel ecstasy in chanting the names of Krishna. But he would always think, what about the rest of the people? How is it that we can reach out to them? How is it that they can become responsible, or they become connected to this devotional service or chanting of the holy name, so they can also get the same benefit like that? So while he was meditating like this, it is mentioned that once he was reading some Shastra and he came across that if you offer tulasi leaves with Ganga water to a Shaligram Shila, fulfilled. So be careful what you desire, Kasturi. So whatever you desire will get fulfilled. So he was doing that. He started to do that, in all earnestness like it. And if you remember the song that we sang, if you go back, if I can just go back quickly, let's see if it opens for me. Let's see, where's that now? There's the song. So in the second line of this, in the second stanza, it says, Ganga Vari Monohari Tulasadi Manjari Krishna Jnana Sadha Dhyana Premavari Chwajari. If you go read the English translation for this, it says, he worshipped the Saligram Shila with water from the Ganga, mixed with tulasi manjaris and leaves. Tears of love insistently flows from his eyes as he meditates upon Krishna and sings his glories. So he was singing here not to Lord Chaitanya. He was worshipping Krishna. Why Krishna? Because that's who he knows. As his Supreme Lord and Master, he understands that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God. And he wasn't thinking about Lord Chaitanya. He didn't call Lord Chaitanya. He was calling Krishna. He wanted Krishna to advent because he said that if there's anyone, that can change the minds and the hearts of these people in Kali Yuga like that, it has to be Krishna himself actually. And therefore he was calling out to Krishna constantly, incessantly like that, by pouring these manjaris and Ganga water. And there's a very interesting thing about this Ganga water, So Sadashiva, or Shiva, remember when the Ganga came down after it got brought to the universe by Vamanadev, who caught it? Lord Shiva put it on his head and he was holding it so that he doesn't destroy this material creation, right? But here, this same Sadashiva, he's taking this Ganga water that he's holding on his head in another pastime and offering it to Krishna with Tulsi Manjari, like that it is actually. Now Ganga is described, Srila Prabhupada describes Ganga as having the potency to purify, after prolonged use, right? You know this thing? That the Ganga, if you constantly bath in Ganga all the time, you'll become purified, right? And Prabhupada gave the example that sometimes the prostitutes also go bath in the Ganga. So they take bath and get purified and go back, carry out the business and become contaminated again and go back and take bath like that. But he's making the point that one pure devotee One pure devotee take bath in a Ganga will purify the Ganga. Because the pure devotee is more powerful like that. Because by association with the pure devotee, instantly, what they say, Labhamatra, in 1/11th of a second one can become a devotee like that it is, or become purified. But by taking bath in the Ganga, it can take after a very, very long period of time, maybe you'll get the same benefit. So that's the potency of a pure devotee, and we should seek that kind of association actually. Because when you get that kind of association with a pure devotee, then to make advancement in Krishna consciousness becomes a little bit easier, not so difficult like that it is actually. So anyway, so this Advaita Acharya was worshipping the Saligram Shila like this, and then eventually Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was saying, and there was one this thing that Lord Chaitanya was saying that I was resting quietly in the causal ocean. I was lying down peacefully, and this Nara, with his loud roaring and shouting, he woke me up actually like that it is, you know. Now you see pictures of Advaita Acharya, which is quite interesting. Advaita Acharya got beard, he got hair, right? But what does Nara mean actually? He means shaven head actually. How's that for you? So that means at that point in time, Advaita Acharya didn't have hair then actually. He was clean shaven. So sometimes devotees say, I can have beard also because Advaita Acharya got hair, but he didn't have actually. So according to pastime, time, place and circumstance. But like this, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, okay, fine, to please my devotee, because he's calling me with such earnestness, and also because it was time to advent for the Yoga Avatar like it is, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came actually. And remember, he came during the lunar eclipse, where everybody was chanting Hare Krishna like that it is. So, Advaita Acharya was initiated by Madhavendra Puri. Madhavendra Puri was the spiritual master of Ishvara Puri, who was the spiritual master of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu always considered that Advaita Acharya is as good as his spiritual master, because he was initiated by his spiritual master, his grand spiritual master, like that it is. And it is said that when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so I'm running now, because I can see time is going away from me actually. It is said that, that whenever he would see Advaita Acharya, offended by that, he always wanted to like get the mercy of Lord Chaitanya like that it is. So he started speaking some impersonal nonsense like that it is. And so Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Advaita Acharya started dancing actually. He was in ecstasy because now he got chastised. And he was telling Lord Chaitanya, yeah, now you've shown that you're my master, my Lord and Master, but chastising me, so thank you very much for that actually. There was the other pastime that Upendra Prabhu was saying on Tuesday about Prasadam. So Nityananda Prabhu and Lord Chaitanya was taking Prasad in Advaita Acharya's house. And Nityananda Prabhu, who was also initiated by Madhavendra Puri like that it was, he was toying with Advaita Acharya and he threw some grains of rice at him like that it is actually. So when he got hit with grains of rice, he got up and he started dancing again, because the ecstasy he was feeling, or the reciprocation of love like that it is. Because remember, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was making the point, when someone praises you, you should be wary of that person actually like that it is it? Because they may be praising you for the wrong reason. They may want something, they may have some ulterior motive, they may have some agenda, whatever the case may be. But when someone actually points out your faults, then Srila Bhaktisiddhanta was saying, I should offer my obeisance, because this is my true friend actually. They're showing me what's good for me, so I can correct myself like that it is actually. So in this mood, Advaita Acharya was saying that Lord Nityananda had this love for him, and therefore he was throwing these grains of rice at him like that it is actually. So, Advaita Acharya Prabhu was also the personality that traveled to Vrindavan. That Madan Mohan Diri that we see, or which is now sitting in what's the place called? Karoli. Which is now sitting in Karoli, was the deity that Sanatana Goswami was worshipping. But before Sanatana Goswami, it was the Chaubha Brahman that was worshipping the deity. And that Chaubha Brahman got the deity from Advaita Acharya Prabhu like that it is actually. So that deity was given like that by Advaita Acharya Prabhu to the Chaubha Brahman, then from the Chaubha Brahman it went to Sanatana Goswami like that it is actually. And Sanatana Goswami obviously worshipped him, and then Madan Mohan temple was constructed because of that particular deity. So in this way, Advaita Acharya Prabhu is giving us the opportunity, giving us the glimpse, giving us some entrance into this spiritual realm actually, like that, where we can get the mercy of Krishna, where we can get the mercy of Lord. See, remember, it comes in sequence also, right? Because first is Advaita Acharya's appearance day, then is Nityananda's appearance day, then is Gaur Punim. Now again, making the point that to get the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you have to get the mercy of Lord Nityananda Prabhu. And in the pastime of Raghunath Das Goswami, this was clearly illustrated, that although he wanted to join Lord Chaitanya, but he didn't go directly. Lord Chaitanya sent him home. But when he got the mercy of Lord Nityananda, then he was allowed access to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Raghunath Das Goswami was showing like how Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was showing through Raghunath Das Goswami how renunciation can become one of the important pillars like that in this section. So in this way, we're getting this wonderful opportunity to worship Advaita Acharya. So make no mistake, we may consider Advaita Acharya just as one of the Pancha Tattva, but he's non-different actually like that. He's a Vishnu Tattva, he's in that category. And therefore you will find that, like although Gadadhar Pandit is like an expansion of Radharani, we don't really consider Radharani so much, Radharani so much in the Pancha Tattva like that it is. But Advaita Acharya is in the same category as Lord Nityananda, is in the same category as Lord Chaitanya. And that's the mercy that we are looking for actually. So by getting the mercy of Advaita Acharya Prabhu, we can actually try and get entrance to the mercy of Lord Nityananda, and by the mercy of Lord Nityananda we can get mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In that way, we can all become spiritually surcharged actually. So I hope and pray that, somehow or the other we can all take this opportunity to try and read about Advaita Acharya more. There's so much to discuss, there's so little time. But if you can read more, try and assimilate how important he is in our life. And like I was making the point, he is a person responsible. So all the good and bad that happens in your life, you have to see it as the mercy of Advaita Acharya Prabhu actually. And again, how you react to those good and bad circumstances is your choice actually. You can either take it as mercy or you can blaspheme the Lord. But either way, Advaita Acharya is, in the last stanza of the song, Advaita Acharya, they're saying that Advaita Acharya gives his mercy to those people that are blasphemous. So even if you consider that, he'll still give you the mercy like that it is actually. So I'll stop. Aarti is in 2 minutes. I'm not sure if there's any announcements for tomorrow or today. Prasadam being served downstairs in the hall, I know, so that's okay. So tomorrow's program is by His Grace Shuddhi Prabhu. You all know Shuddhi Prabhu has come before. He's a disciple of Srila Prabhupada, and he was the first person that came to South Africa. So please try and come and listen to his discourse tomorrow. Also tomorrow at 1:30, there'll be an initiation ceremony held here. His Holiness Kadambakana Maharaj is giving initiation. There's just 3 devotees, one from Phoenix, lady lives in Joburg, but she's now living in Amshlanga, and then one from Radha Radhanath Temple. So we'll have it here. There'll be a yagya ceremony, and Maharaj will join via Zoom, and he may speak. So if you have the inclination and times, please come and join. It should be nice. It'll also be encouraging for the devotees that are getting initiated. They require some support as well, actually. So thank you very much. I'll stop here. Anybody has any comments or questions or want to add anything, please do so. I didn't cover extensively because unlike Advaita Acharya Prabhu, I can't control time. Thik, Raghunath Prabhu, anything for tomorrow? Mangalarti is the same time tomorrow, 4:30. Everybody's invited. So please try and come if you can, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Hare Krishna. Shri Advaita Acharya Prabhu ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Go Pramanande. If I have 30 seconds, no, I don't think I have 30 seconds. There's a nice pastime of Srila Prabhupada at Shantipur. One of the pujaris that was there for many years, he was saying, he was telling the story once he went to our temple in Mayapur, that he got a Back to Godhead magazine, and at the back of the picture there was Srila Prabhupada's photograph, and he's saying the founder Acharya of the International Society. And he was saying how Prabhupada would come prior when he was a householder, and he would just sit at Shantipur and chant, and sometimes he'd be crying and he would chant. And then for many years he didn't see Srila Prabhupada, and then in 1965 he saw him again. And this time he was wearing sannyas cloth, and first he didn't make him out, then he recognized him, and then he was saying Prabhupada was sitting there for a long time chanting Hare Krishna and just crying, like that it is. And then after that, he went up and Prabhupada was telling him, he asked Prabhupada who he was. Prabhupada explained who he was and told him that he was going to America to try to fulfill an impossible mission that his spiritual master had given him. And he was asking for blessings and mercy like that it is. And then years later, he said he started to see, like Western Vaishnavas coming, and he didn't really know who there was until he got him to his back to Godhead. And he saw Prabhupada's picture, and he realized that Prabhupada had left the planet, but still Prabhupada's mission had become successful, actually. So praying to Advaita Acharya has many, many benefits, actually. And Srila Prabhupada is showing us the benefits of that, actually. Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani Ki Jai. Shri Shinitaya Gaur Sundur Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Go Pramanante. Krishna. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namah. Everybody come closer. All the Matajis hanging right in the back, come closer. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Vastatha Jastatharine Don't feel shy, you can come front. Sunyavadi Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta-vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, oh Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Hare, oh Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare, oh Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram oh Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, oh Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, oh Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, oh Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare, oh Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladeva, Jai Subhadra, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladeva, Jai Subhadra, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladev, Jai Subhadra, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladeva, Jai Subhadra. Jagannath Swami Nayan Patagami, Nayan Patagami, Bhavat me. Jagannath Swami Nayan Patagami, Nayan Patagami, Bhavat me. Jagannath Swami Nayan Patagami, Nayan Patagami, Bhavat me. Jagannath Swami Patagami, Bhavat me. O Jagannath Swami Nayan Patagami, Nayan Patagami, Bhavat me. Jagannath Swami Nayan Patagami, Bhavat me. O Jagannath Swami Nayan Patagami, Nayan Patagami, Bhavat me. Jagannath Swami Nayan Patagami, Bhavat. Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jai Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jai Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. Oh Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jai Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jai Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. Oh Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jai Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jai Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Nitai Gaur Sundar, Nitai Gaur Sundar, Gaur Sundar. Jaya Nitai Gaur Jaya Nitai Gaur Sundar, Nitai Gaur Sundar, Gaur Sundar. Jaya Nitai Gaur Sundar, Nitai Gaur Sundar, Gaur. Jaya Nitai Gaur Sundar, Nitai Gaur Sundar, Gaur Sundar. Jaya Nitai Gaur Sundar, Nitai Gaur Sundar. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Jai Jai Prabhupada. Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jayam Vishnupad Paramsa Prabhuji Acharya Sutta Sri Srimati His Divine Grace Abhay Charanada Vrinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki ISKCON Samstapak Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki BBD Founder Srila Prabhupada Ki Jayam Vishnupad Paramsa Prabhuji Acharya Sutta Sri Srimati His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Mat Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Prem Shri Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhari Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki The appearance day of Sri Advaita Archarya Prabhu Ki Their Lordship Sri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani Ki Their Lordship Sri Nitai Gaura Sundar Ki Srila Prabhupada Ki Nitai Gopramananda. All glories to Sama devotees. All glories to Sama devotees. All glories to Sama devotees. All glories to Shishi Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. Just one announcement. To honor and celebrate Shri Advaita Acharya's appearance day, Harinam Sankirtan will take place today in Trenance Park, Vedlam, at the corner of Marula and Juniper Roads. It'll be at 4:30. So, if you get a chance to honor Shri Advaita Acharya, Shishi Panchadadva, whose life and soul was Harinam Sankirtan, please come for Harinam today, 4:30. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.